Parker Schnabel has never been one to play it safe from the moment he took the reins of his own mining operation. He's made a name for himself as a bold investor and a tireless worker, someone willing to spend big to win big. He's the kind of miner who sinks millions into new claims without blinking, trusting his gut and letting the gold speak for itself, and more often than not that gamble has paid off. But this season things are different. Dominion Creek, the claim Parker once believed would be a game-changer, has delivered nothing but heartbreak. The ground that was supposed to set new records has underperformed in every way imaginable. Gold production is nowhere near where it needs to be, and with each passing day the financial pressure mounts. Parker isn't just dealing with a dip in yield, he's watching a high-stakes investment unravel in real time, an operation with massive expenses and very little return. Running a large-scale mining outfit is not cheap. Between fuel, crew wages, equipment maintenance, and transport logistics, the numbers stack up fast. And when gold production stalls, those costs don't go away, they pile on. This season, Parker has reached a breaking point. Things have to work right. You're gonna fight. It's gonna make or break the season. No pressure, but a donut up with his cash flow tightening and no significant gold coming in. He's had to do something he never imagined: sell off his own gear. And not just any gear, we're talking about some of his most valuable, most reliable machinery, equipment that's seen him through countless seasons. Machines he once swore he'd never part with, but desperate times call for difficult decisions. One of the buyers who came knocking was Brian McCaw, a fellow miner in need of emergency equipment. McCaw wasn't just looking to make a deal, he was looking for a bargain, and Parker, he was in no position to say no. The two men stood face to face, each with something to gain and something to lose. Parker offered up one of his top machines, equipment that had proven its worth time and time again. He started with an asking price of $200,000, a number that reflected both the machine's condition and its performance. But McCaw wasn't biting. He countered with a much lower figure, $150,000. And while that kind of offer might have earned a sharp no in past seasons, Parker didn't push back the way he once would have. Instead, he negotiated, he compromised, and in the end, he let the machine go for $162,000, tens of thousands below what he believed it was truly worth. It wasn't a bad deal, but it wasn't a win either. It was survival. I'm not sure why Parker gave me such a good deal. Maybe he's a little tight on gold this year. He's getting desperate. Viewers have come to know Parker as someone who doesn't waste time haggling. In past seasons, he's made it clear that he values speed and decisiveness over squeezing out a few extra dollars. He's often criticized others, including members of his own crew, for trying to negotiate when there's work to be done. But this time Parker was the one bargaining. To longtime fans, the shift was obvious. On social media, the commentary came quickly. Some joked that Parker was eating his own words, finally understanding the very tactics he once brushed off. Others were more concerned, interpreting the moment not as irony, but as a clear signal that Parker is facing real financial strain. McCaw himself seemed surprised by how easily the negotiation went. He remarked that the price felt too good to be true, and speculated that Parker's gold haul must be far lower than anyone realized. In a business where confidence is currency, the sale looked less like strategy and more like surrender. Parker has never shied away from admitting when things are tough, and in this case, he didn't sugarcoat it. He acknowledged that the season had been, in his words, overwhelming. The numbers don't lie. The Dominion Creek project, despite all the promise it once held, simply hasn't delivered. The deeper truth is this: long-term potential doesn't pay the bills today. You can believe in a claim, you can see the promise in its layers, but until that gold comes out of the ground, it's just a theory. And when you've got a crew waiting for paychecks, equipment breaking down, and a season hurtling toward its end, theories aren't worth much. So Parker did what he had to do. He liquidated. He sold off what he could to buy more time, more fuel, more breathing room. The problems that we have this year with wash plants and schedules was a pretty big screw up on my part. Now it's just a matter of getting enough money to pay the payments that we have for the property and debt payments. So we're in a bit of a precarious position at the moment, and it hurt because these weren't just machines. They were part of his identity, symbols of everything he's built over years of grinding, risking, and fighting for success. Letting them go wasn't a business move. It was personal. Online longtime viewers began shifting their tone. What once looked like exaggerated TV tension now seemed all too real. One fan observed how even Buzz Lgo, Parker's normally steady foreman, appeared more upbeat than usual, almost as if he was trying to keep morale high during a very real crisis. It was a subtle change, but one that hinted at something bigger behind the scenes. Parker had faced tough seasons before, but this time felt different. Dominion Creek was meant to be the next chapter in Parker's legacy, a massive untapped claim with the potential to redefine his operation. But instead of fueling growth, it strained his resources, and now, with cash flow dwindling and production underwhelming, Parker is being forced to question some of the very principles that got him here in the first place. One of those principles: refusing to negotiate. For years, Parker built his brand around decisive action. He made million-dollar purchases without blinking. He scoffed at drawn-out haggling and urged his team to value time over pennies. That kind of confidence made him stand out, and for a while it paid off. But this season, something has shifted. When he agreed to sell valuable machinery at a discount, it wasn't just a financial move, it was symbolic. It showed that Parker may no longer have the luxury of being inflexible. He's entering new territory, one where necessity overrides pride. Some fans saw it as a red flag, others saw it as growth. Either way, it was a change. There's a storm brewing around Parker Schnabel, and it's not just the weather. The combination of heavy expenses, disappointing gold yields, and the loss of key equipment has created the kind of pressure even seasoned miners struggle to withstand. Oh boy, 76 grams, that sucks. Did we break even on our costs? $50. We didn't make money. With every failed test and every shutdown plant, the margin for error shrinks. If Parker is now willing to negotiate deals just to scrape together enough capital to continue, what else might he be forced to compromise on? Some viewers have begun speculating that Parker's financial strain is far worse than he's letting on. The public face he presents calm and control, unwavering, might not reflect the reality behind the scenes. When a miner known for unwavering conviction starts shifting strategy, people take notice. Still, there's another side to the story. Some believe this isn't a sign of collapse, but a sign of evolution. Gold mining is a brutal, unpredictable industry. No matter how smart or prepared you are, the ground decides who wins. And those who last are the ones who learn how to pivot. Parker might simply be doing what all great leaders eventually do, adapting in the face of massive operational costs and rising fuel prices. Cutting corners isn't about being cheap, it's about staying in business. Parker may be learning that flexibility isn't failure, it's strategy. This season may mark a turning point, not just for his finances, but for his leadership style. And if that shift keeps his crew working and his gold count rising, it could be the smartest move he's ever made. Time is running out, and the season's goal is still painfully out of reach. Parker knows he has to keep making hard calls. Selling equipment may have bought him a few more weeks, but that's not a long-term solution. If he wants to salvage the season, he'll need more than extra time. He'll need results, whether that comes from a late-season gold streak, a breakthrough at a backup site, or one more bold risk remains to be seen. Some fans believe Parker has already lost too much ground to catch up. Others argue that we're watching the early stages of a comeback. If there's one thing viewers agree on, it's this: Parker doesn't quit. He never has. Parker Schnabel has always stood apart from the pack, not just because of his age, but because of his work ethic and vision. He's never settled for good enough. He's pushed himself, his crew, and his equipment to the limit season after season. And though this year has tested him in ways even he didn't expect, it's far too early to write him off. Big mining ventures take time, they take patience, and they often come with painful learning curves. Dominion Creek may not be delivering now, but that doesn't mean it won't become a powerhouse in the future. Whether Dominion turns into a gold mine or a cautionary tale is still unclear, but Parker's next few decisions will shape that outcome, and fans everywhere will be watching to see if this gamble becomes his greatest success or one of his hardest lessons.